Virgo, it's your time. Okay, before, when I was starting or getting ready to do your reading, I was just kind of getting my stuff ready for the day because I'm going to be teaching ballet to my students out in Connecticut. And, you know that song Brandy Sitting Up in My Room from the 90s? It was from like the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. Who are you guys sitting around thinking about? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and maybe even Mercury. Also, who. Didn't I say who are you sitting in your room alone thinking about? That's what I was getting when I was getting prepared to do your reading, okay? This is the page of Raphael. This is, initiations, phases, orientations, right? The beginnings of a learning process, a phase of learning, lessons, being taught something that's karmic in your life in terms of your emotional energy and your subconscious, right? And how you're allowing yourself to bring that to the forefront. Let something carry out itself and be genuinely fulfilled, right? When you turn it into an action to, that does something about these emotions and these feelings. It really is about being patient with oneself, which is then going to allow you to be patient with other people. Because sometimes Virgo, the mutable signs can all be impatient. Even you. Because, you're slow moving, but you're impatient within the fluctuations and the changes within a slow process. And the reason why it's slow is because there's so many things that are happening and changing. Like practicalities, realities change. They shift and they change. It's like the earth. It's like the weather changes. Right? Because we're talking about nature. We're talking about natural things. I'm going to go ahead and put this page at the top of the reading because it flipped itself over. Actually, that's not where it's going. Where is it going? Yeah, it's going at the top of the reading. And then at the bottom of the reading, I'm going to put the High Priestess, which is also Pisces energy. It's the subconscious that I was talking about before, right? It's really knowing how you feel about something, really just going with your gut. And that sort of determines, what action you take. Because if you feel good about something, then you're probably going to rest easy. But if you don't feel good about something, you're going to either stress about it, you're going to either try to plan all these different scenarios on how to find solutions to deal with it, or you're just going to be, stuck in it, right? Something like that. But you have to do something with these feelings that you're going through right now. Neptune is in your 7th house of relationships, and also so is Mars. So, the sign of aggression and assertiveness and action and fire and initiations and impulse. And another sign of impulse, but it's only impulse because it's like quick moving, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, that Pisces energy. You probably have a lot of time spent dealing with that Pisces energy as well. Because for Virgo, it's almost like Pisces always has a problem that they need to be like, not fixed, but catered to. It's like the situations and the things that occur need someone to be there to like process them, to make them not so, emotionally based. But then it's kind of like seeing the realism or the realities within a situation and not just looking at, like the feeling that it evokes. Okay? And I only really have one more card to pull, so I don't know why I'm cutting the deck. This one in particular, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a light side, dark side, advice, outcome. And then I'm also going to pull a Lenormand card to go in the very center of the reading to talk about what the energy, the overall energy is. All of the Angel Tarot cards popped up. They kind of flipped out except for the last one, obviously. And they're all water cards. So it really is talking about, relationships, love, home, family. Some of you might be dealing with issues with your mother and your father, mainly your father, because Jupiter is here represented by the Wheel of Fortune card. This is also talking about, risk, and it's talking about the awareness of taking risks, right? Because the 1 and the 0 are both admired as their own individual number within 10. So the 1 is talking about awareness of resources and how to use something properly, efficiency. And the 0 is talking about, just the possibilities of what could be, and how are you motivated by those possibilities. We're in a mutable season, and it's kind of hard for some of us to stay motivated. But for you, Virgo, I just dropped some cards, so we're gonna go with those. But for you, Virgo, you like to be disciplined, so that kind of like helps you with the fact that sometimes you may not feel motivated, you know what I mean, but you're disciplined, so you can deal with it. Let's go with this. Let's go with that. We'll go with this. Ooh, definitely. And then we'll do like another one. The cards really just fell out the same exact way. It was like 3 cards fell out. They wanted to go in those first positions, and then the last card kind of stayed in the deck, and now I have to shuffle it and pull it out. I'm keeping my eye on the clock because I really don't have a lot of time. I might have like 15 more minutes or something. It's going to be a short one for you guys, like 20 minutes or something like that. And I'm just going to start talking because right now I'm just trying to warm up to the energy and relate to you guys. Some of us are feeling scattered, but like I said, you definitely stay disciplined so you can kind of like be scattered within your routine. Right, the routine thing. What's going on? Is your routine changing? Are you kind of getting used to the changes that are part of your new routine? Appropriating and adapting to something, right? I feel like that's what you guys are doing as well. I'm doing that. I have Mars and Mercury in Virgo. I always wait for a card to pop out on its own. It's going to be this one. Okay. Control, struggle, and control. Damn, this is so crazy. These cards came up today for another Virgo that I was reading about, just information-wise. It wasn't anything crazy. I was just kind of like trying to see like where they were, in their own head. So now I'm going to pull that Lenormand card, and then we're going to really get into the meat of this reading. Okay, so 3 of them popped out. There's a Cancer, there's a Libra, and then something to do with the number 5, which is conflict, and the number 1. Those are Roman numerals, so this is 6. But then the number of the card is 35, so it's talking about waiting, right? Receptivity. It's also talking about welcoming, inviting, an invitation. It has to do with like work as well. And what you are attached to, what anchors you. This is also a very Virgo card for this Lenormand deck, right? That energy of this card is. Because the anchor is talking about being attached to something, right? Something that kind of holds you down, but not holds you down in a way that it's like restricting you. It's holding you down where it's providing a level of security or a place to be. Because if you have a safe haven in like your physical home, your physical body, it really is about the routine of things, keeping things steady for you, right? And that's what a lot of you guys are dealing with right now. Something about your routine, and then it has something to do with the nighttime, may have to do with the Cancer. Maybe a lot of you are, being overly emotional right now with what's going on in your 7th house with Mars being there and also Neptune being there, dissolving boundaries, which is allowing things to happen that you necessarily wouldn't have imagined or you wouldn't have considered or wanted to happen. You know what I mean? It's like that type of thing. So you find yourself having to make choices, right? And try to dodge things that you feel like are going to get in the way or cause, a little bit of a rift or like shifts that aren't going to be to your best interest or things like that. You're really just trying to stay away from anything that might be tempting and that might try to get in the way of your productivity within this new routine, because you really want to be fair to yourself and you really want to nurture this experience at work or nurture, some part of yourself through work. Okay? It's like the service thing. That service orientation. So, right, the bright side of the situation, it's almost like a new emotional experience, a new situation. You're thinking about your feelings, you're trying to process them, you're trying to see how you can serve through your feelings, right? It's almost like, well, if I feel this way, then why don't I do something about it? Because Virgo is really definitely about doing things, doing something about it. It's really good. And right here you got Manas, which is a card of universal identification. Yes, it's almost like understanding how you affect people, understanding how people affect you, and understanding when you need to have time away from people and when to re-invite them back in. Yes, and it is talking about a give and take, allowing these fluctuations and these shifts and things to happen. It's a sliding scale that kind of like goes up and down. It's kind of like that trombone type of energy. And then it's also like how you are sharing and how that network, how that interlocking of understanding for everyone's existence. I'm getting very deep into this card. Is should be motivating you, because it's like everyone having a purpose is what motivates you. That's basically what I'm saying, Virgo. So you are really looking to be a part of something where everyone has a purpose and you want it to be something that's going to be satisfying for you, right? Something that's meaningful too. You want to have a meaningful experience, and that's the light side. It's saying that you are going to have a meaningful experience with someone or within an environment, right, that you feel comfortable in. It is saying that some of you also might be a little bit complacent. Yes. So that's getting in the way of you reaching out to people and getting out there and having that universal energy be in your life. Okay, so this card is talking about humanity and cooperation. This rune is connected to the sense of union that unites all humanity to the cosmos. See, I wasn't crazy. The god has three faces, one facing the moon, one toward the sun, and one looks ahead. His gaze embraces the totality of the world and mankind. This card alludes to the cooperation and reminds us that no one is an island, that we are bound by invisible threads that cannot be dissolved. I was talking about dissolving of boundaries, right? This card indicates collective dreams and the joy of cooperating and having shared projects. Dreams, Cancer. Cooperation, Libra. Work, projects. Unity is strength, and exchange and communication are two key concepts of the card. Absolutely. So it's like you have to stay unified within, a purpose so that the intention can be met, right? So don't let your feelings get in the way of making things happen. So the dark side of the situation is that there's some of you that have an understanding about something that you feel. It's almost like a gut feeling, and you don't think that feeling is going to be changed by, a different truth being brought to light. You think it's going to align with the feeling that you have already been having in your subconscious. And then you have the card Algas here, right? It's this room, the one that looks like I guess like a pitchfork or something. That's weird. A Y with a line going straight up through it. That's what I'll say. Okay, so let's look at what that one is, because I actually really don't get this card a lot. I don't even know if I've ever pulled it. Okay, Elk, strength, right? So this is the strength to deal with the reality that your subconscious is telling you something that really actually is. Elk, strength. The card is tied to willpower and fundamental quality. That is very Virgo, right? Motivation, fundamental quality. If you're disciplined and you can serve a purpose equally each and every time, then you have something meaningful, something very valuable, and something that needs to stay consistent. Okay? This rune means elk, an animal that for the Germanic people represented the ability to defend oneself against oneself and resist adversity. The man strikes the anvil with the hammer and sharpens his weapon in preparation for battle. In difficult moment, resistance is needed, and the only way to garner this quality is by continuous physical, emotional, and spiritual training. One needs to give one's all at every juncture of one's existence. Indeed, the card speaks of the value of generosity as well. It also speaks to this card, right? The give and take, the cooperation. So put some aggression into making teamwork happen. Even if other people don't feel like they want that, it's almost like they just need to be motivated. They're not being like, Debbie Downers, and they're not, just trying to make it difficult for you. They just really need to be shown how to do something and maybe do it more efficiently, and maybe then they'll even do it better than just being efficient because you showed them something, right? And sometimes people just need a little bit of information and then they can really shine more, right? That's that progression from Leah, because Leah was like, I'm shining, and it's like, I'm bold, and it's like, but if you're bold and it's like not polished, then why isn't it? Right? So then Virgo comes in and it cleans it up, and it's like, okay, so now you can go out there and people are really going to love it. Right? Sorry. So let's go into the advice. The advice is talking about putting aggression into your compassionate efforts and how you can achieve something through an understanding that there is a need for harmony that everyone is, encouraged to pursue. Because really, Virgo, what you want to do is you want to bring people together. You don't want to disband people or make something more difficult than it should be, although you definitely do that a lot. This card says love and blessings fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. And this is actually where Mars is right now, which is in your house of relationships. So it is saying put some more aggression into just reaching out to people and understanding that they are there for that purpose. You know what I mean? That is why people come into your life, and that's why you have consistent people in your life and people that maintain their status with you, right? And it's not like their monetary status or their material status. It's like their own soul status, their value in your life, period. Not anything that they have of value, but something that they represent for you that is of value. And you really are leaning in and trying to get more of that. But the thing is that you don't want it to be like a polarizing energy, because this is Mars and Pisces. And Mars does not really seem like he would want to be there, you know what I mean? Because he wants to be moved ahead, move forward, go into the first house. Why am I down back here? But when you can definitely take that energy and have him, Mars, tap into, the blockage that he has, which is Pisces energy, 12th house, things that you just are sort of like need to be revealed to you, almost like you need to turn around and see. But a lot of times we're not trying to turn around, we're moving forward, right? And that's what Aries teaches us. That's why it's so ironic that he would be, placed well there sometimes, but he is. Laguz is water energy. It's feminine water energy. And this is a need for expression too. So this is a double need for expression here. I feel like something is going to definitely occur because of just maybe some stubbornness. There might be a struggle to deal with the thought process that you might be having, because you're putting so much aggression into this is Mars as well. you're putting a lot of aggression into negative thought patterns, right? It's almost like you're breathing life into the negative thought patterns. You're giving it more energy, and you are kind of like prompting this. You're worrying about something that's unnecessary, right? You don't have to predict that everything is going to be a struggle or a challenge, because nothing is ever really that easy, because everything deserves improvement, right? Because you definitely have that feeling, or that idea, that thought process. Definitely let go of those unnecessary worries, right? You don't need to feel like it was your fault about anything, and don't beat yourself up about something that really might already be over and you're not experiencing it in real time. It really is just like you're thinking about what has happened already. So think about what will happen, and with the wheel of fortune here, the awareness and the zero being Uranus and the risk and God, think about what can happen, Virgo. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys there. If you want to book a reading with me, email me at providencetarotKendrick@gmail.com. You guys know that Dale is also providencetarotdale@gmail.com. He's going to be moving to California in about a week. So on this channel, you'll just be getting me, but he'll be starting a channel that's in conjunction with this channel. Maybe it'll be called Providence Tarot West. We'll be on the lookout for that, and then we'll be announcing to you guys when that's going to be launching. But we got to give him some time because he's making some major life changes. Okay? So you guys, definitely slay those dragons. Get out there and make things work for yourself, even if you feel like you might get some cuts and some bruises. You know what I mean? Not actually. Okay? Metaphorically. So, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, Virgos.